about. So I'm going to also play games that you guys yourself can go out and play as well. Give me a second. So I'm also going to play visual novels that are free. So Shark Dating Simulator is like $2 at the moment. But I also want to play a couple of visual novels that you guys obviously also sticks in. I'll put you in. Making a visual novel game soon. Well, be sure to put me in it, because I need that. I need to be in it. So this next one is called Within, and it's free. It's a free visual novel. It does sound depressing, but we'll see. Hey, look, we're not going to play all of these to completion, you know, but we'll see. Vinity, 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 Vinity. The chants of my fans echo through the door in front of me. Vinity, Vinity, oh, that's... Oh, okay. One of my two bodyguards wrapped his hand around the doorknob. Please prepare yourself, Miss Vinity. Once I open this door, we'll head straight out for the limo. The guard had no reason to fret. I had long since grown used to these crowds. Still, I nodded to put him at ease. After taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. A crowd of hundreds raised their cameras as soon as I stepped out. My guards waved their arms to shoo them away. The red carpet was for me to walk on. After all, I blew them a kiss for these starstruck peasants. Miss Vinity, please hurry. Let us hurry, my bodyguard said. Too bad for him, I strutted along like a model on a catwalk. A group of reporters managed to worm through the crowd. They now tiptoed over my guards in hopes of scoring an exclusive. Vinity, how does it feel that you won the Calligraphy of the Year award? A reporter asked me. Before I could answer, another dozen people shouted over each other, hoping for my attention. Vinity, may I get a photo with you? Can you sign some autographs for my kids, and 2 for me, of course? I can't believe I'm standing this close to Vinity. My fans stamped their dirty shoes all over the red carpet. Finally, my bodyguards pulled out of their pepper sprays to keep the fans in check. A young male reached in my direction despite having a spray aimed at his face. Rather admirable for a peasant. I extended a hand for this male fan to kiss. Unfortunately for him, he fainted at the sight of my perfectly polished nails. I reached my limousine at last. My bodyguard opened the door for me. As I climbed in, my trailing fans snapped as many photos as they could. Miss Vinity, the crowd chanted as my car window pulled up. How odd they never referred to me as Miss. Oh, my gracious presence must have been too much for their sanity, these poor things. Miss Vinity. Oh. Well, I had fun while it lasted. At least I get a ride in a limousine for a good 30 seconds. In real life, my only registered vehicle was my 10-year-old bicycle. My apartment had no space for a car anyway. Actually, this single room with cracked walls might be an insult to the word apartment. Pull up those curtains for a spectacular $1 view, featuring a sewerage pipe and wall tainted with yellow. Just open the window if you wish to smell the sewage as well. Breathtaking experience. By the way, I need to take back the 1-room thing. This place actually has 2 rooms, thank you very much. The second room happened to be the toilet. Still counted, right? The toilet clogged 3 times a month, so be careful while using it. Miss Vinity, a woman echoed from outside. She was no fan, but rather my landlady. I glanced over at my clock. 6 AM. Waiting another hour or 2 would have been nice. She probably just wanted to tell me about another rent rise. Nothing good ever came out of that woman's mouth. I'd be better off staying in bed. Stay in bed. Snuggle back into my blanket. The landlady could knock all she wants, but my focus was on my calligraphy dreams. I had no time for these common folk matters. A week later. Turned out the landlady was chasing me for my rent. By the time I realized she'd already evicted me. Now I live on the streets, but nothing with my... Hang on a minute. The past few nights have been freezing cold. I ran out of tissues to wipe my runny nose with. To make matters worse, spare no expense. Omega Senpai dropped a meme. The meme generator. Narcissism everywhere. I don't interest you in buying one of my works. I got 2 for 1 deal. Bad end. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Excuse me. That was too quick. Rise and shine. Coming as I changed into something more appropriate. The landlady still kept knocking. I said I was coming. Maybe I should just walk out naked if that's what she dug. This rig game. Well, I get a sales boost too. Good morning, Miss Virginity, the landlady said. I must ask, what's with your hair? Looks like you just woke up. That's because I did. It's a waste for a young lady like you to sleep your youth away, the landlady shook her head. She had no right to preach at me like this. I wanted to tell her, but decided against it, as doing so would give her an excuse to lecture me further. With her size, if I enrage her, she'd squash me into vanity-flavoured pancake. Miss Vinity, your rent was due 3 days ago. Ah, well, at least there was no rent increase. Sorry, ma'am. My next paycheck will come in after tonight's shift, so I'll pay you the first thing tomorrow morning. The landlady grunted. Alright, just so you know, if this keeps up, you'll have to find somewhere else to live. She spun around to leave. Once she disappeared behind the corridor, I kicked my door shut, causing a piece of my cracked wall to fall off. I tried shoving the piece back into place. My effort resulted in more fragments flaking off. Great. The landlady would make me pay for the next month. Once I become an accomplished calligrapher, she would beg for my chance to shine my shoe. Hey, I sounded a bit ranty before, but that was never my intention. A lot of famous people had humble beginnings. I'd follow in their footsteps. But first, I needed to put it in work. Within. And so I returned to the busiest street in my area. With my calligraphy spread out before me, I sat on the concrete and rested my back against the fence. Car horns blared behind me, mixed with people shouting things about each other's mothers. These cars kept expelling fumes that made me choke, just one of the many things I dealt with in the name of art. Pedestrians took up almost every inch of space on the street ahead. Surely, this will be the day where somebody spotted my talent. As always, no one afforded me anything more than a passing glance, and my will soon dwindled. Let's be honest, I never expected to be showered with praise by every head who passed here. What was that old saying? 10% of the people you reached out will buy your work. I could live with that. Even just 1%. Please. Anything but 0. I wanted to scream at all these people. They had no idea how much sweat I poured into these calligraphies. Rant. Enough was enough. I sprang off the ground and kicked the fence behind me. The crowd stared as I ranted on about their ignorance. I felt so good to let loose. If these people knew how to spot real art, my career would have already kicked off. 2 days later, my eruption made its way onto the internet. Guys, make sure to never buy anything from her. She's nuts. What does she think she is? Spread the news, everyone. We need to make sure that people like her never get anywhere. My career was oh my god, my career was doomed. They're trying really hard, yeah. I would have kept my trap shut. Bad end. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. So I'm not allowed to be a dick at all. But they're giving me the option of being a dick. Hang on. I want to take the dick route. Not that I... You know what I meant. I decided to keep the displeasures for myself. Oh my god. People often said patience would be rewarded. I don't know if my patience would ever become worthwhile. Just as I thought, the man paused to look at my calligraphies. He had a bucket of fried chicken in his hand. That smell made my mouth water. I summoned courage to speak with the man, but he spoke first. You charge me for this? I managed a tiny nod. The man snorted. I would never hang these up on my wall, even if you gave them to me for free. Seriously, this is the most shameless display I've ever seen. Trolls online were one thing. Confronting one in real life was a rarity. Judging from the man's scrawny arms, I bet I could overpower him with ease. Then he would know just how big of a blunder he'd made. Restrained. Another 1,000 people walked by without sparing a look at me. Lingering here any longer would be a waste of time. As I packed my things, I insisted I was leaving because my part-time job started now. Deep inside, I knew that a man's words had rocked my confidence. Thank you for saving that clip. You know what I meant! Speaking of tears, I heard a kid crying within the crowd. Looked like we had a lost child on our hands. Some pedestrians shot him glances, but none of them offered him more than that. They're really horrible people. To cheer myself up, I told myself I never want calligraphies to be owned by people like that. I should help the kid. That would mean being late for my job. I'm going to ignore him. Sorry kid, Miss Vinity had a job to go to. Convincing myself that another person would help him, I headed off to work. Next morning, the kid from yesterday appeared on the news. Oh my god! The reporter announced he'd gone missing. Guilt seized my heart and threatened to crush it. I ended up being his... Oh my god. I didn't want to lose my job though. Like, I didn't want to lose the job. I mean... I'm being annoyed. I'm being annoyed. Wait a minute. I judge others for abandoning a child. I'm gonna lose my job. How the dick route. Did you lose your mum? The boy was sobbing too hard to answer. Alina stroked his back with one hand and his head with the other. Let me know if you lost your mummy, okay? Hope you find us. There's no need to be scared. The kid managed to nod at last, and I whispered good boy into his ear. What's your mum's name? Hungry. Her name was Hungry. The boy's tummy growled and I realized what he meant. Ah, how about I buy you a sandwich? The kid shook his head. I want ice cream. Hey kid, ice cream is more of a dessert. I want ice cream. And so ice cream it was. One for him and none for me. And the money came out of my pocket, of course. My poor, poor wallet. At least that kid could have eaten the whole thing rather than let half of it melt on his shirt. Jessie, the boy said. That's my mum's name. Jessie, Jessie, I called as I strode along the streets. Now people stared at me more than ever, enough to make me blush. In fact, maybe I should try shouting Jessie at some random next time I sold my calligraphies. Sky turned orange as time ticked by. I knew my shift started an hour ago. Stop reminding me. A woman squeezed through the crowd and scurried towards us. She ran past a red light, nearly getting hit by a truck in the process. The boy shook free of my hold rushed into his mother's embrace. After muttering apologies to her son, the woman gazed towards me. Oh, thank you so much for your help. You're wonderful, just wonderful. The torrent of praises curled my lips in a stupid grin. Anyone would have done the same thing. Well, not me, apparently. Actually, there is something I need help with. My mother nodded. Anything in my power. Which way is it back to the train station? Without within. The sky had gone dark by the time I arrived to work. I opened the restaurant drawer gingerly to avoid making any noise. Stealth mode switched on. They called me Ninja Vinity for a reason. Miss Vinity! The voice of my boss nearly made me jump on the ceiling fan. Sorry I'm late. I wanted to explain, but my boss glared at me and my tongue slurred a bunch of syllables. My explanation was in there somewhere. Received an earful from my boss, but at least I get to keep my job. Several colleagues shot me frowns for not being here during such a busy period. Save. Alright, I'll save it. At least I earned a paycheck needed to keep my landlady quiet for another month. As for the month after that, we'll see when that time came. All I wanted to do was pursue my art, but reality kept pursuing me towards finding a second job. On my way home, I spotted a banner for an upcoming visual novel named Princess Aria. The game had long been hyped from every forum I knew. Amazing art along with a cast of famous voice actors. The writer and composer were big names too. For Princess Aria, they had an ad this big. Must have been a lot of money put behind the project. The way the banner hung high gave me a sense that it was extra important. Bright light shone on the princess's face to impress potential players. That's what I really needed. If I had a banner like that, no doubt people would line up to buy my calligraphy. I could already imagine how folks would react as I walked along the streets. Wow, no way. You mean that famous calligrapher? I saw you on all those banners? Yeah, she must be really good. Maybe we should ask for an autograph. My agent would step in and speak on my behalf. Please line up in an orderly fashion, everyone. How much for an autograph? Shut up and take my money. My agent nodded in response. Autographs are available for $100. That'd be $100, thanks. The game shop owner said. Princess Aria cost twice as what I predicted. I bought the game. I have 2 little left for rent. I opened my wallet, hoping that I have more cash than I realized. Turned out I had less. I hung my head as the storekeeper sighed. His arched brows pressured me into buying the game. I did ride 3 trains to get here, might as well pick up something. I told the shopkeeper how much money I had, and he shook his head. The store owner pulled out a different game from his table. He brushed away the dust so he could see the cover. The title read Sunflower War, some visual novel about the battlefield. Copyright 1997, the bottom read. No wonder it was so cheap. Art by Invert Mouse, whoever the heck that was. The cover would fit perfectly in a kindergarten classroom. I flipped the case to see what was highlighted on the back. The game supported 640 by 480 resolution. Truly the pinnacle of technology. The shopkeeper grimaced. He must have sensed I wanted to say no. His stare made my palms stain with sweat. Mum spaghetti. As I ended up buying the game. Dealing with folks like that had always been a weakness of mine. Remind me to never visit the store again. Without within. With heavy strides, returned to my apartment. 0 calligraphy sales, late for work, and with rent topped off, blowing cash for some game I had no interest in. What I really wanted to play was Princess Aria. Forcing myself to suffer anything else would just upset me further. Where the fuck's my mouse gone? There it is. I'm playing it. Did spend money on Sunflower War, might as well give it a go. The day left me pretty drained, so this reliquary game would do a good job putting me asleep. I switched on my laptop and inserted the disc, which partly hoped would fail to load from old age. Too bad it worked just fine. No doubt a lot of people were loving Princess Aria right now. Meanwhile, I was enjoying this 640 by 480 godsend. No voice acting either. These illustrations look like they were done by a child. I would be better off closing my eyes and imagining my own artworks. The grass reached up to our knees. As I read along, I painted an image of the scene in my head. The plants rustled as I waded through. We paused once every few steps, fearing there might be snakes hidden among the bushes. Somehow we managed to survive the evening. The sun surged from beyond the horizon, outlining the earth with an orange glow. Slowly the blue sky emerged and vanquished the darkness that had haunted us. Oh my god. Woo! As light bathed the soil, I found myself in a field of sunflowers. I had to imagine this place looks far more terrifying, but anxiety had merely been playing tricks on me. I drew a deep breath to savor the morning fragrance. In the distance, birds chirped as if applauding our survival. I could see it. Not only that, but touch it, hear it, and smell it. An experience crafted by my own imagination. The image rivaled the strokes of any artist, and it belonged to me alone. The fulfillment inspired me to take things further. The blast of gunfire deafened as we dove behind the wall. A bullet zipped past in the tip of my helmet. Sam had passed this helmet on to me with a dying breath. I would carry on her legacy. The desert heat pinched sweat from every pore. I desperately wanted to empty this water bottle down my throat, but with no help in sight, I must conserve every drop. Joe's eyes closed, this time never to reopen. Despite our promise to survive together, I only managed to live. How I wish I could take his place. I finished reading Sunflower War right as the clock struck 3 AM. How so many people had missed this classic left me dumbfounded. Actually, that would be a lie, as I had every intention of tossing this game aside. I kept demanding excitement without offering an ounce of passion in return. If I played my part, I might be able to discover so much more. As Sunflower War's credits rolled, I realized how small of a development group it was. The team probably knew they stood no chance against the bigger studios, yet they still did their best with the data technology. Oh, it's foreshadowing. The happiness that felt when working on the project poured out in every line of the game. I could gaze right into the heart, the thing I'd long neglected. Oh, she's having a kid, Vinity, was it? Oh, it's her. Look, it's my calligraphy. Honey, it's calligraphy, but that's great. I think you have a lot of talent. So much fun, I'm going to become a calligrapher. But last time I found joy in calligraphy. Every stroke these days felt like a grocery chore. All I obsessed over was how much, or rather how little, people paid attention to my efforts. No work no longer possessed heart. My works no longer possessed heart. Failed to notice it. Time to do something about that. I could hardly wait to start. After all, I chose this path because I loved it. Within. The next day I ventured outside with a new set of calligraphies. Though I made no sales thus far, I still found myself beaming. That might explain why some people smile back, perhaps because of the weather, but I swore everyone felt warmer today. This is Phil's corner. There she is, ice cream lady. The boy dragged his mother in my direction. Honey, the lady has a last name. It's rude to call her ice cream lady. What was the name then? Oh my, sorry, what was it? It was Vinity. Mother slapped a boy on the back. See, her name is Miss Vinity. Mummy, can we buy one of the doodles from the ice cream lady? Doodle must be another word for top of the line calligraphy. No other explanation could restrain me from shaking the brain out of this boy. My name was nowhere inside that brain anyway. My mother checked her wallet and her face scrunched up with mine the way mine often did. All good, madam. I knew how it felt to be living on the edge of being homeless. Please, 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 the boy nagged. This showed why I would never have kids. The mother relented at last and bought one of my works. Guess the boy wanted to repay my kindness. Gave him a ruffle and thanks. After flashing his missing tooth with a grin, he pulled his mother back into the crowd. Well, at least I scored better marks than yesterday. Another man strolled towards me. I was on a roll. My heart on my side, my fame and fortune arrived. Clean my shoes, peasants. Hey, it's you again, the man said. Oh, it's the troll from yesterday. I calmed my thoughts to avoid causing a scene. Maybe the guy came to apologize. Even a creep like him must know how rude he was. Well, his new scribble's even worse than the ones brought last time. Oh, I want to kill him. Somehow I turned into an internet celebrity. Top comment. Damn snap. She went full crazy. Triangular mouth at 7. Illuminati. She'd be like... Oh no. It just ended. Just when it got good, it ended. Just when it started to have a moral, it turned into the other direction. What the fuck?